I'm really, I didn't, I said, oh, I don't need the manual, and you know what? And then it turns out to be much more in depth than I thought, and I'm really happy that I accepted it because it's going to be fun. But yeah, a lot of information that you kind of know inherently, but you need to hear kind of repeated for you. And then some people need the science behind it.
Yes.
Right? Yoga and breath work and all that. They think stuff that was discovered before Galileo must not be true. Right? This is smart. Yes. Thank you, Heidi. What service? So let me find my notes and we'll get started.
I had a goal recently. I landed on this knee and braced myself with these arms and this shoulder. So I'm going to take it even slower. Yin is perfect for me today.
Good. Yes. We'll get into some of those little. Yeah. Great. Did anybody get to use their week of free yoga at Cameo yet?
No.
Oh, I bet you didn't yet. Okay. I'll make sure I get. Oh, I think you might have some.
Yes.
Those cards.
I have some in my office.
So maybe you can get one, Catherine. So no, we have tons. We have tons.
Yeah.
It is, but we have tons of them. So you can all have them.
I hear you have.
Maybe I will go and then use that some
Do you drive? Nurse practitioner? His assistant.
So I work with Jen Fitzpatrick, who's my
Okay.
just super cool. But yeah, I definitely am so grateful to have this item.
He's working out well.
And he's just so patient and
Dependable, getting them.
yeah. And my husband also like really checks with me.
Yeah.
After that medication, he's just like not pushing, but still.
Found him.
Yeah, shout out that gratitude. Yeah.
Oh, that's just what I was going to start with. So gratitude. Find your comfortable spot. I recommend sitting on something, maybe if you like, for a little bolster, so that when your hips are higher than your knees, just do personal experience, and you sit crisscross when your hips are higher than your knees. Hi. Hi, Natalie. Yes. Welcome. Natalie, I'm going to have you make a little name tag real quick, okay? Oh, nice to meet you. Thanks very much. Well, that's the background music we need more often.
That's kind of noise.
Kindergartners or the second graders had their fall adventures and they just
Yes.
I have a second grader, so it's waiting.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, and that's an interesting spelling of Natalie. Yeah. Oh, cool. So I'm Lenora. You know Heidi? Oh, okay, great. And Catherine. So, real brief, let's hear from Catherine and Natalie what brought them here today.
Well, for me, it's just kind of more connections and kind of reiterating and emphasizing some of these pieces I do and trying to do more solidification to yes, this is important, yes, to make time for it, and then to follow through and do it.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, I was invited to so excited because I love just mindfulness. It's so important. I took up an online class
and just we need to be more present in the moment. And so it's just lovely. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm Lenora, and I'm guiding us through this. This is our first time at Colorado Springs School. We've done this program a couple of other times for a small, well, probably about as this big. So we were hoping this would be a large group and we could do a better test of, you know, how it ripples into your life and into the lives around you. But it's going to be small, and that's okay too. So this is a program that I'm a yoga teacher, and I teach kids and seniors and adults in between there, and there's all sorts of ages. And I'm not going to specialize because I like it too much doing all of those things. Just makes me happy. So I've been fortunate enough to get a lot of those classes and have a few things under my belt. And so my partner and I, we had business together. And we created this program and several others, curriculum for children, for teachers, for whatever, a bunch of people. And our main thing is that we train yoga teachers to teach children. This is kind of a little different. And there's a 95-hour program that happens through Yoga Alliance. That's kind of the governing board in the United States. And so we have a program that's approved by them, and after 95 hours of all that, you can comfortably teach yoga to children. You don't need all that to teach yoga to children. There's no requirements really. And a yoga studio or a company will have requirements, but there's no real. It's not like being a school teacher. You don't have to go through a particular system, but it's good to go through that system because how else do you do it? It's going to kind of go out blind. So the program really helps a lot of people get started. So you guys know all about mindfulness and the benefits of mindfulness, and I bet that we all have the same, that all humans probably have the same issue, which is just that life gets in the way of being mindful. Life happens and we have too much to do, and we kind of slip into that, well, let me do these 12 things and then I'll be done. We do these 12 things all at once, preferably. And so we end up doing a really cruddy job of that. And then we feel like failures. And then, you go down that rabbit hole. So Catherine brought up something really, really important this morning. And on my way here, I was actually planning on starting with a gratitude exercise. And there's scientific proof, and you don't even need it if you don't need to believe that, but there's scientific proof that being grateful changes your chemistry in your brain. And I just wanted to talk really quickly about something a little bit off of that, because as parents and teachers and people who deal with children, there are times when all the gratitude in the world can't pull you out of a sadness. And when that occurs over a period of significant time, you need some kind of interaction. This is not like magic where, just, chin up, back on the horse, go get them, you can do this. In fact, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps was actually a joke long ago before that started, because if you think about it, if you're pulling yourself up from the bottom, you can't get up anywhere. So it was like saying rolling a boulder up a hill. It was like impossible. And now we say it as an affirmation to people, an encouragement of some kind. So I just wanted to, I was just thinking of like the two sides of it, how grateful I am and how grateful we should be and remember, and how it helps us and all. And there are times when people will be filled with gratitude of all that, people they love and where they are and everything they can be, and still be really sad. And that's a reason for, exploring deeper, however you do that, whether it's through a professional or you start with just yourself or whatever it is, because for example, the teen and youth suicide rate in Colorado is extremely high, and we don't know why, really. We just can't figure it out, because in a city where kids don't have places to play outdoors, or in a place like Alaska where there's only, 3 months you can really be outside comfortably and all that, you kind of expect that. But in a place like this where you can pretty much be outside all the time, and we have, like Colorado Springs has, how many parks that are so beautiful? And if you've lived anywhere else, you know that, how amazing that is. So we really don't know the answers, but just to keep in the back of your mind that this stuff doesn't miraculously make serious things, serious problems go away. It's definitely a way to cope with those serious problems, no matter what. Like suffering from depression, this is a great additive, a great way to help overcome that. But it's one of many things, and so it's not going to be the magic bullet that we might want it to be. So just want to throw that out there, because sometimes it sounds like, oh, if you do this, it'll all be great, and it won't. It's still going to be life. It's still going to, things are still going to happen. So anyway, but we do have a lot to be grateful for today, for sure, just where we are, where we have been placed in this world. So bring yourself into a comfortable position. I'm going to have you take a mudra, which is the peace fingers, and down onto the earth, even though it's not really the earth, it's okay. It's cement and it's earthy product. And so make that connection. This is the mudra for connection to the earth. And when we take this mudra, what we're really saying is I'm connected to the earth and everything in it and on it. And it doesn't matter where your hands are. You could be sitting in a different way and just leaning forward and doing that, or however. It's just that 4-point connection to the earth. And it's really just a reminder to us that this is always the case, but now we're kind of reinforcing it. Then let your hands rest however they feel comfortable, on your lap or at your sides or on your knees, whatever feels good. And simply notice how your body feels this morning. Maybe noticing some physical things, where your ankle might touch the ground, where it's pressure, where there's pressure in your body, where there's not, where there's lightness in your body, where there's heaviness, warmth and cool. Notice the breeze on your skin. And then allow your senses to kind of wake up and hear what's going on around you. Notice 3 sounds that you hear right now. Then bring attention back into your breath. Notice the inhale and exhale. And just feel compelled to say this poem that I just used with my preschoolers, sorry. Sit up tall, head to the clouds, breathe in through your nose and sigh it out loud. And sometimes that audible sigh can help us. Sit up tall, head to the sky, in through the nose and out with a sigh. Just let go of whatever it is that is already on your mind, whatever happened before this moment, whatever happens after our class today. Just being here in the present moment, in the stillness. Let's drop our head forward comfortably with a little stretch in the back of the neck, but keeping the back right now straight. So just a head drop down. Maybe clasp your hands behind your head and pull gently with your elbows coming forward towards your face. Getting a little stretch in that neck. And then as you let go, bring your hands back down and roll the ear gently to one side, ear over one shoulder, doesn't matter which one. And then check your other shoulder and see if you can keep that down. Sometimes it wants to come up and help. And maybe take that hand, same side that your head is over, and gently, just very gently put a tiny bit of pressure, I'm talking 2% pressure, on top of the head to just gently guide it in that same direction. And maybe even 2% is too much this morning, because remember our morning is going to be tighter than our afternoons for body. And then let go, let the head swing very gently through center and over to the other side. Heavy ear on the shoulder. As if you have a weighted earring pulling you down. And then if you want, try the same thing with your head on top, with your hand on top of your head. And very, very gentle, little teeny tiny pressure pulling you out to the side. We'll let that go, bring the head back down, the chin back down to the chest, and we'll shake it just a little bit. And this time we'll let the head pull us down a little bit forward. So bringing your body forward just as far as it feels good to you. You can bring your hands forward as if you're rolling into a ball. Wherever your body wants to stop this morning. Now take a nice deep breath wherever you are. And on your exhale, pull your belly in and see if you can roll just a tiny bit further. Let your head help pull you down rather than holding it up. Let it be as heavy as it actually is. And as you're ready, we'll walk the hands back up into a comfortable seated position. Bring our hands behind us. Palms can be down or fingertips, whatever you like. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift your head up and look at that beautiful sky. Take a couple breaths here and notice your lungs expand and contract as you breathe in and out. And we'll soften down in the elbows. We're going to bring our arms behind us. It's okay if you're still on your blanket, bringing your arms behind us. We'll come into like a little fish pose. So this one is just a little exaggerated. We squeeze our shoulder blades together. You're going to want to be really careful with your shoulders on this, okay? With your arms heart up to the sky. And if you like, you can drop your head. If you're a head dropper, it feels really good. If you're not, it feels really bad. So you pick. But if you do, you can see the moon. Even if you don't, you can. And then we'll lower down all the way down. You'll probably slide off the blanket and just give yourself a hug with your knees into your chest and rock gently back and forth. One of our exercises that we're going to do today is our digestive exercise. So we'll bring our right knee in, let the left leg go wherever you like. So if you like it out flat, great. If you like it bent, great, doesn't matter. And pull in with all of your might with your knee coming in towards your armpit. And this is actually pressing on your ascending colon, and it's helping your digestive system. You always want to try to do it right to left, because that's how the ascending, that's how the colon works. It goes ascends and so now we'll pull the other one in. Now you're doing descending colon, so the left side. Press. And then let it go nice and easy. So I hadn't really planned on doing this, but I think since we have the time, we have a small group, I think I will. So this is another digestive massage. So we think yoga is all, physical postures and everything. There's so much more to it than that. It's got a science called Ayurveda behind it, and lots of different things for innards and outards. So let's start with this is a digestive massage. We start with our fingers in our belly button. The only time you don't want to do this is right after you eat. Other than that, anytime is okay. So you're going to go right to your belly button with your 2 or 3 fingers, and then you're going to step down 2 inches, just a little tiptoe down, and then 2 inches to the right. Now you've got the contact point with your ascending colon. And now you're going to press like you're playing the piano, not too hard. Just going to massage all the way up until you're about 2 inches from the rib. You're going up in a straight line. And when you get 2 inches below the rib, you'll stop, roughly. Not that scientific. Now, when you cross over the belly, we're going to go down the other side. We make like a rectangle. But when you cross over, we're going to very gently tiptoe. We don't press hard in the middle because, first of all, there's nothing to really activate there. But the other reason is that a lot of things are flowing through the middle of us, including our spine and spinal fluid and all that stuff. So you don't want to press really hard right here in the middle because you're not accentuating anything. Once you get 2 inches below your left rib, you'll begin again with that same pressure, this time going up to down. maybe you actually feel something happening inside at this point, maybe your tummy growls, whatever. When you are 2 inches below your belly button and 2 inches out to the side, you're going to take those same little tiptoe steps over the middle. And we're going to begin the same thing again. We'll do it one more time. So coming up nice and gentle, but you can feel it. Enough pressure to feel it, not enough to hurt at all. And then crossing over, tiptoeing very lightly and coming down the other side. I recommend 3 times with this when you do it, but so many here. Can always do it more if you like it. And then come across one more time and make your rectangle. And now that you've got it, maybe you want to tilt your pelvis a little bit and press your low back into the ground and feel a little more connection with the earth so that you don't have that curve in your back and everything is pressing down into the earth. Get a little more that way. And then when you're done, you're done. You can just give your belly a little soft love here. I know it's not the part that we love the most maybe in our bodies, but it's really spectacular. Bring the knees in, give yourself a hug, rock gently side to side. And when you're ready, you can roll over and sit up, or you can rock yourself up, depending on what you like. Oh, but if your mat's in the way, you might get stuck there. So I wanted to go through the book just a little bit, because this book hopefully is going to be helpful to you as time goes on. Oh, I brought the, that's okay. I have another one, but I brought the children's curriculum for Reach for the Stars. So we're going to be moving into something different now. Nope, I got one right here. That was funny. I did that last week. So, so going through, we won't go through the entire book during this, but pretty much close to it. And the reason is so that you can look back on it. It's not like we have to read a whole lot, but so the case for mindfulness, and this is specifically geared toward educators and teachers, but that's okay. Oh, did I give you my notes? I don't know.
Can you tell me how to get into the doggone field house? Do I have to go all the way around the building?
You should be able to come in through here, but it might be locked today. Are you picking somebody up?
No, my niece is playing volleyball. I just wanted to come watch her play.
I can let you in there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you guys continue because I've done some of the beginning work here.
I'm so sorry to disturb you.
That's all right. It's not a problem. Happy to ask. Happy to be helpful. So we went through this case for mindfulness on page 2 for yoga and educators. And it's not like we need to make a case for mindfulness because we already know that it's really, especially you guys know already. But there is this list that was from a website for teachers that listed probably 21 or something. I only picked out 15 of the skills that we ask of our professionals in education: adaptability, confidence, communication skills, being a team player, being a continuous learner, being imaginative, showing leadership, being organized, innovative, and committed, ability to maintain your online reputation, ability to engage, understanding of technology, knowing when to unplug, and ability to empower. And that to me sounded like, no one can do that. What are you describing here? So I think the point of making the case for mindfulness for yoga, mindfulness and yoga for educators, is that this is a big amount of stuff on their plate, and we're asking crazy things from our professionals, and maybe in other professions as well. So the reason we created this course, was really to bring the benefits of mindfulness and yoga directly to educators, and not say, here's another program you have to teach to your kids, to your students, because that just makes you the middleman. You know, here's a new math program. Okay, I'll teach it now. It's like just passing through me onto the children. And that wouldn't really work for a mindfulness program, because it's not one of those things you can just teach. You have to practice it and embrace it before anybody really gets anything out of it. It's not one of those things, right? So the concept was, let's bring a program to educators and to schools where we can focus on them a little bit first. Get yourself in a place where you can start feel the benefits. And then the benefits kind of just roll off you. You know, the people around you are affected by your energy and your attitude and all that stuff. As parents, we know that our kids, you know, follow our lead in a lot of cases, and good and bad, right? And so that was the principle behind this. And then we just kind of opened it up to more people because everybody can, you know, benefit from it. But that's kind of the beginning and where this sort of came from. So we went through a vinyasa, well, we went through a gentle yoga practice last week, and today we're going to do a yin practice, so that'll be a little bit different. Let's see. Welcome to Yoga discusses what yoga is and what it is not. Developing a regular practice. Breath is number one, meditation and intention before you go into your practice. Keep your practice simple, sustainable, and steady. And end with relaxation, no matter how short your practice may have been. And Shavasana is the best exercise there is, best yoga posture, because it's truly letting go, and it's more important than the stretching and the strengthening and all that stuff. If you can only do one posture, it's okay to lie down and do that. It's totally permissible. In the yoga texts, the sutras, which come from way back, it says the posture for yoga meditation should be steady, stable, and comfortable. And the reason it says yoga meditation is that yoga, the purpose of the physical part of yoga was always to prepare the body and mind for meditation. That was the goal. So when we come out of yoga class all sweaty and tired, it's kind of different than from what was actually planned. It's actually tire out your body and your mind so you can be open to meditation. Not that we're doing it wrong, but just that it's a lot different than what was intended. So keep that intention in mind. Forms and styles of yoga. We did a little flowing last week and a little gentle yoga. We did a little yoga nidra, which I have a recording of in case we don't get to that again. And then yin yoga is what we'll be working on today. And we'll talk more about that. Sharing yoga with children. So we're in a section now where it shows us specific exercises that we can do. They're all yoga exercises, and it just happens to show kids because we use these as well for our children's training, but it's totally appropriate for adults. So on page 10, you have calming. Just remember that all of your movements that you do have a purpose, and it doesn't have to be one purpose for everything. You can mix and match all of them. So if you're doing forward fold for calming, or forward fold for stretching, or forward fold for strengthening, it doesn't matter. But we just like them in categories so that we remember that a yoga practice encompasses all of the benefits. So calming, stretching, energizing, relaxing, strengthening, all of those have a place in our yoga practice. So if you're new to yoga, this is a great way to learn some new poses, share them with your kiddos, whatever. Now, there's a mistake in the book that I'm going to correct right now. If you look at the first one, it says calm, and it's not coming up yet. Okay, so calming. Then we have focus. So things to do to help focus our bodies and our minds. We have mountain pose. Great way to, if you want to get your kids kind of going in one direction. Cobra pose, also a strengthener. And then you'll come to balance, and you'll see that the pictures are the same as the ones before. So we want to remedy that. That upsets me more than I can explain. So I'm going to have, you can keep those two in there. They're just duplicates, but I'd like you to replace them or put in front of them. Tree pose and
Airplane.
airplane. Probably not the original Sanskrit. You think? I don't know. I think we're ahead of their time, but I don't know. So when you're practicing on your own, it's nice to have a little guidance here. You could do all these 12 or however many poses there are, and have a nice little developed, well-developed, well-rounded practice if you wanted to follow these guidelines. Let's see. And also there's ways to teach the kids how to do it too. So stretching breath, stretching, it has lion's breath. We're going to work a lot with breath today specifically. But I just want to familiarize you with this and have a sense of what this book entails. They're very detailed instructions. So this is also kind of geared towards people who've never done yoga before at all. So you guys might feel really familiar with this and say, I already know that, but you never know. You might run into somebody who doesn't know it all. Brain breaks are specifically for teachers, and just a couple of little ideas, so we don't really need to go over that. Breath. Okay, so the brain, the breath, and the nervous system. This is what we're going to just cover very briefly, and then we're going to go into actually trying the breaths. So we're on page 27. No, 20. Yeah, 27. Yeah. So the way that the breath works, and this is something we didn't know a long time ago, but remember your mom saying, take a deep breath when you're upset, might say it to your children as well. And there's totally scientific proof to that working. What it does is slow breath in and out, especially out, gives your body a signal through the vagus nerve to calm your nervous system. It tells your nervous system, I'm okay. And the reason it works is that your fight or flight system, your sympathetic nervous system, is probably a little overactive, and most people's are, unless you're like a monk, But most people in today's society, their nervous system is a little over amped, and your nervous system is your protector. So it's very important that it's there. You don't want to shut it up at all. But what happens is it gets overexcited about things that aren't really life or death situations. You ever had that happen? Like your heart is pounding, and then you realize, like, it's just because I forgot my keys. It's not, I'm not going to die from this. I can get out of it. So this deep breath is a way to remind our bodies that we are okay, remind our nervous systems that we are okay. When we exhale longer than we inhale, that's exactly the message that we're sending. And if you were truly in danger, it would be impossible to do that. You couldn't convince your breath to do that because that has been shut off and your sympathetic nervous system is taken over. What we want to do is learn how to calm down the sympathetic nervous system when it's not an emergency and engage the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest, your calm and peace and all that. So when you have your kiddos in an excited state of some kind, and you need to calm them down, take a breath with them. Make sure you inhale. This is a really fun way to do it. I don't know if you guys know this, but the 5-finger breathing. You inhale up to the thumb, exhale down to the web, inhale to the tip of your finger, exhale down, inhale to the tip of your middle finger, exhale down to the beginning of your ring finger, up and down and up and down. When you finish, you've taken 5 deep breaths. If you tell a child to take 5 deep breaths, they're gonna get distracted after 1 and a half, right? But if you do it with them, it's a really nice calming way, and it calms you down. You just took 5 deep breaths also, so that couldn't hurt. More advanced breaths that we'll practice today will be for other purposes. So alternate nostril breath, you may have done this before if you've done some yoga breathing. It's we have a left and right side of our brain and a left and right side of our body. And this is a method to balance them all out. So you may not know this, but now that I tell you, you're never going to stop thinking about it. So when you are breathing normally during a day, you're breathing in more from one side than the other, on and off all day long. It just switches like maybe every 1 to 3 hours. So you have kind of a discrepancy between how much is coming in one nostril and how much is coming in the other. This doesn't count when you have allergies or cold or anything like that. But it's kind of like always switching, and they kind of relate to, if you follow the rules, it kind of relates to which side of your body is activated, and it doesn't go directly like left nostril, left brain. It doesn't work like that. It's the opposite, but I don't know the details of that. But the point is of the alternate nostril breathing is to get your balance back. So when we breathe in after a few times with the left and right nostril, it should balance out a little bit. Doesn't always work. It's just a theory, but it's good to do. And again, you're taking those deep breaths no matter what. So we're going to start with our right thumb at the base of our nostril. Now, some people teach this as pushing in, but I do not. Like if you were pinching your nose, because that just, I don't know, it's just uncomfortable for me. So I just cover up the bottom of the nostril. And I breathe in through the left nostril. And then when I'm at the top, I cover the left nostril, maybe with the ring finger pad or anything else, and breathe out through the right. And when it's all the way done, breathe in through the right, cover up the right, and breathe out through the left. Inhale through the left. Cover it up, exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Relax your shoulders. Inhale left. Exhale right. Picture goes all the way. Inhale right. Getting to the top, exhale left. Nice. Once more in. And once more out. Through the right. And then just let your hand relax and notice maybe you feel clearer. Maybe you even feel stuffier. Sometimes that happens as well. And maybe you feel balanced. The breath of joy is a wake up breath. So we're always talking in yoga about, relaxing and letting the breath be really deep and stuff. But there are other purposes for the breath, other things we can do with the breath that actually help us engage in whatever it is we need to do. So when you're short on energy, this is a reset for your mood, kind of. And it's also called conductor breath. So let's come on up. You'll see why. It goes like you're conducting a little imaginary orchestra. So this has many, many variations. If you look at it online, you find 5 different ones to do, but we're going to do it this way. So what it is a 3-sip inhale through the nose. We're going to go. So you're really full, and then you're going to exhale kind of audibly with a, and when you go out, don't be afraid to make noise. Nobody cares. There's only kids out there. They think it's funny. Bend your knees. Let it go all the way down, like you're really collapsing down to the floor, but with a comfortable stance. So if you don't feel comfortable doing this, don't go all the way forward. You can just go and just kind of sink your body into that relaxed position, okay? So we'll go in for 3, out with a ha. Good. Roll up slowly so you don't get dizzy. Inhale for 3 again. Let it go, out. Good. Let it hang one more time. Roll it out. Inhale 3 and out. Good job. Nice work. And then calm down. If you do that about 5 times, you might feel energized. Don't get dizzy. Do it as slowly as you want to. It's not necessary to do it really fast. Kapalabhati breathing is something that is not taught to beginners, but it's super interesting. It's super fun. So you guys would be really great at it, I'm sure. Some people have believe that this breath does miracles, like sharpening senses and cleansing the blood. It really can't cleanse the blood, I don't think. But you will definitely tighten up your belly muscles if you practice it regularly. So it's kind of useful for that. Let's see if I can remember how to do it before I tell you we're going to do it. Okay. So as we breathe in, we're just going to let the belly naturally expand. As we exhale, we're going to prepare for a gut punch, which isn't a yogic thing to say, but it's the only way I can describe it. As though you're going to tense everything up in order to prevent it from hurting, okay? And then it's naturally going to fill again with your next sip, so you're not going to deliberately inhale. So let me show you what it looks like. It looks a little weird. You're going to curl over. So I have a friend who's built pretty much like me, and she just rolls down her pant top and pulls up her top and shows you her belly just exactly as it is. So you can see what it's doing. but I'm not there yet. So we're gonna round forward gently and let the body kind of relax. And as I breathe in, there's just gonna be a little movement. And when I exhale, I'm gonna really pull it in. So I'm gonna go, I forget what noise you make. I think it's a shh, shh. Yeah, that's it. So you go shh, and you pull everything in really tight, like you're doing a plank or something. And then you just let it fill naturally. We do about 15 of these. It looks like this. Now I'm not pulling my stomach out when I inhale. It's just doing that naturally as I take the breath. Okay. So let's try 15. Come into whatever your comfortable position is. You can round a little bit. You can look down so you can actually see it happening. And we'll breathe in the first time through the nose. Let it out once. Inhale to prepare. And begin. Good job. Let it go. Take natural breath. Let it out. Let your belly return to normal. So when I come out of that, my next exhale usually feels like it wants to do it again, even though I'm not doing it anymore. So that means you're activating those muscles, and you're actually doing a good job for not only your core, but your nervous system and your respiratory system. So just a fun thing to do. Just to note, this is not a trauma-sensitive exercise, and we rarely teach it to children because it's not especially beneficial for calming, and they usually have enough energy that we don't need to teach them this. And the 3-part breath we're going to do together today. So that'll be kind of like our main. This would be the one you'd use if you wanted to maybe continue your meditation journey. This would be a very good way to start or end a practice, perhaps. Just keeping in mind that there's uses for all of this, and these are all open to your whatever your desire may be. So if you like to do something like just open the book and do that pose, then that's fine for your yoga practice. If you have a more well-designed practice or formal practice, then that's great too. So as we slow down the pace of our breath, we're going to imagine that 3 parts of our body are breathing. They are the base, the rib section, and the chest. And in actuality, the lungs go further than we think they do, than we picture them in science books. They go all the way forward to the rib cage, all the way back to the rib cage in the back, and all the way out to the side. So before we lie down and then you can't see anything, let's sit up and just imagine that as you're breathing, it's not front and back or up and down, it's all the ways around. So you're breathing in, feeling your lungs expand forward, side, back, up and down. And we're exhaling the same way with a little bit of pressure, contract it all together. So imagine the lungs like a balloon expanding and contracting. One more time in and out. Hi, come join us. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
I love your outfit. Welcome. Hi, Mary. Great to meet you. Thank you for coming. We're just.
Almost didn't come back.
I'm really glad you came. Never second guess it. If you're on your way, get there no matter what. That's what I think is true. Because there's a reason we got here. Yeah, so let me get you a little comfortable, because what we're going to do is we're getting into something called 3-part breath. And it's a way to relax and help your nervous system and also help your respiratory system. So it's just like a little guided meditation. It's going to relax you completely, and you're going to forget about the hustle and bustle of getting here. Okay, first, then you take the money back out. Does anyone want a blanket on top again? Is anyone chilling? Because you're going to be still. Let me just go back to the computer. And I ask questions and then I answer them. Just in case. So yeah, go ahead and have a seat. We're going to lie down, but we'll start with the sitting. So we have, oh, we have that one. Okay. So I'm gonna be fine because I'm gonna be in the sun. Anybody wants to join me in the sun, that's okay too. Yeah, yeah, it's really nice. It's very nice if you're prepared for it. I did not put my sunscreen on today though, so I think it'll be brief the time I'm out here. So three-part breath is, we're on page 28, Mary, and we're just going through different breaths that can help us achieve different things. So some are energizing breaths, some are relaxation breaths, some are just slow down breaths, whatever. And three-part breath is really just a relaxation, a way to expand, and it's a great way to begin or to end your meditation, or your rest period at the end of yoga, which is Shavasana. So as we breathe, we're going to be on our backs, but I'm going to show you first. We're going to imagine then, I know it's not true, that you're breathing into your belly first, filling that up from the bottom up. We know that your lungs are not down here, but you're imagining that they're expanding that much. And then we're going to expand in the rib cage, not only front, but front, side, and back. And then we're going to expand in the upper chest, where those little like branches of our lungs are, I forget what they're called. And then we're going to exhale the same way, from the top to the middle to the bottom. And by taking it slowly like that in 3 steps, even though we know it's all one breath, we're kind of focusing and adapting our body to breathe properly rather than the way we normally might breathe, which is just really quick and, you know, everybody getting things done real fast and all that, the mood we're usually in, the place we're usually at. So come on down and make yourself comfortable onto your back. I'm going to sit up, but I'm going to get you guys started. So just down onto your back with your feet down onto the ground flat. This is my most comfortable position. You may like to stretch out completely, but I think this is real comfortable for my back. Sometimes people knock their knees together and make it really comfortable for their back. And once you get down there, just raise your hand if you need something, like if you need a prop under your head or under your glutes or whatever you might feel necessary. Nice. And just let your body sink down in the earth. This will be a little meditation and a breath, we'll call it. Breath practice. Begin to just notice how your breath is falling naturally. We don't want to really change our breath too much. We're really just noticing. Feel the inhale where it comes in at the tip of your nose. And imagine it traveling back to the back of your throat, down through your esophagus. No, is it your esophagus or your larynx? Into your lungs. And then as it leaves your body through your lungs, up out through the back of your throat and out through your nose again. Now see if you can exaggerate it just a little bit in your belly, similar to what we did with Kapalabhati breathing. So as you inhale, you're going to let it go completely, fill the body up. And on your exhale, you're going to just squeeze ever so slightly to squeeze it out. So what we're doing is imagining getting that little bit of air that never completely gets out. We're going to kind of let that free today and bring in a fresh new breath. So we do that by imagining, just squeezing the belly and pushing that air out, tightening everything. And now we come to the 3 parts. So as we're breathing, we're going to now imagine that the breath is coming from the base of the spine. And it's coming up through that lower belly, filling, 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 then in through the ribs, filling, filling even more, and finally up to the top of the chest where you feel like you have to, you're done taking all the sips of air you can, and then right away relaxing and kind of collapsing in the chest, pushing it out through the ribs, and then pushing it out through the belly. Everything softens back down to the earth. Now you can always take a couple of normal breaths in between your 3-part breathing. That can help you just kind of reset, so you don't feel like you're forcing your breath in one way or another. And then when you're ready, we'll begin again from the bottom. So inhaling fully from the base of the spine, all the way up through the ribs, all the way up through the chest. Top of the breath, and exhale, releasing chest, ribs, and belly. And again, belly, ribs, and chest. Of course, you're going to go at a different pace than I am, maybe. Chest, ribs, belly. couple of times on your own. Feel the 3 parts. So if you want to, you can put your hand on your belly and one hand on your heart, and you can actually feel them lift a little bit as you come to that particular part in your breath. So in the base, in your lower belly, and then your ribs, feel that hand rise. And then as you come into your chest, maybe your hand on your heart rises a little bit, and then lowers as you exhale. Some little helpful guidance that you can do with your own body. Wherever you are, take 2 more full breaths this way. And then as you finish, relax your arms down, relax your body. And notice your normal breath once again, coming in through the nose, following it down into the belly and out. Just notice how your body feels on the earth. Let your head be heavy into the ground. And I think this is a perfect place to begin our yin practice. So just relax for a moment while I explain yin yoga as I know it. I'm not a yin yoga teacher specifically, so more like a student. But last week we did some movement, gentle, I called it a gentle vinyasa, which is where we move pretty continually through the breath. So we rise up and breathe in, we exhale, breathe out. We exhale, bow down, fold forward, and we do everything with the breath. The yin practice is different because while our normal practice or our typical practice of yoga involves stretching and strengthening deep into the muscles, yin yoga aims specifically at the fascia or fascia. I don't know how to say it. It's plantar fasciitis. So I'm guessing it's fascia, but I always want to say fascia. Anyway, fascia. And the best example of fascia that I know is the base of your foot. So if you want to, wherever you are, let's see, if you're down on your back, you may want to cross your leg over and just feel that soft arch of your foot. And give it a little massage with your thumb. And sometimes you'll notice this part of your foot may be very stiff. So after sleeping, during sleeping, our fascia contracts. It literally shrinks on itself. And the fascia is the connective tissue that wraps all around our body. So it's right under your outer skin, all over your body, like one big envelope. And it has sort of a life of its own in that you can massage it up if you want now that you're on that side. So it has a life of its own sort of in that it controls how stiff we are when we wake up in the morning and how soft and relaxed we might be after we do some exercise, for example. And so yin yoga is designed specifically to address relaxing and opening and stretching the fascia of the body. It's very healthy. Anybody can do it. It's not the most comfortable thing always. Does anybody do rolling, foam rolling? It's similar to that sometimes. That's kind of the same purpose. So when we roll with a tennis ball or whatever on parts of our body, we're just loosening up that fascia, we're stretching it out, giving it much more space so that we can be more flexible. It doesn't always feel great, but afterwards it feels really good. So yin yoga is a little bit similar to that, in that we're addressing the same areas of the body. So staying on your back, I'm going to guide you through a couple of poses. If you need to look over, that's fine, because my directions may not be quite complete enough. But try to do it without like going too far. So we'll start with one on our back because that's where we are right now. And this is a funny one called banana pose. You will see why. So in a straight line, stretch your legs out away from you. And bring your arms up overhead as far as they want to go completely. Now remember, the thing about yin yoga is you don't do it when you're warmed up. You do it when your muscles are kind of cold. That's the point, because you don't really want to involve your muscles. You want to get into that fascia, right? So if you get your muscles all excited, they're going to take over for you. It's going to be a different kind of practice. Not that it's wrong, but it'll be different. So we're starting out without warming up because of that today. So as our arms come overhead, we're going to think about the shape of a crescent moon. And I'd like you to just gently walk your legs over just 2 little steps to the right corner, towards the right corner of your mat. Both legs coming over together. Both legs over to the left, or to the right, rather. Yep. Good. Now, I want you to think about moving your upper body in the same direction. So using your elbows underneath your back, you're going to scoop yourself over to the right of your mat with your upper body. Your hips are in the same place, but now you're forming a bit of a crescent because your arms and your legs are out to the corners of the right side of the mat. So arms and legs are to the right, and your hips are still to the left. So without even doing anything right now, you should feel a bit of a stretch on your side body, your left side body. If anybody not feel that, raise your hand if you don't feel it. I'll help you. Okay, great. So you can stop right here, and you see why it's called banana, because you're in the shape of a banana. Oh, hasn't sounded better, but whatever. And now to get a little bit more, if you want a little bit more, you don't have to. Remember, this is all up to you. If you want more, let your left arm be soft and hold on to the wrist with your right hand. And gently start to pull with your right hand over to the right. So you're just exaggerating that stretch a little bit to pull into the shoulder and a little more into the side body. And maybe this is pleasant for you, maybe it's neutral, maybe it's uncomfortable. If it's so uncomfortable that you can't get a nice comfortable breath, release out of this a couple of inches and it'll feel better. And just notice how this stretch is affecting your body. So you're contracting on your right side, right, coming together, so it's a little tightening there, and there's an opening on the left side of the body. And maybe you want to just imagine that fascia of your body, that little connective tissue, just opening wider and wider, like you're kind of stretching a knitted blanket. If you feel like you want even more, and I don't do this one because my hip pops out, if you want to, take your left leg and cross it over at the ankle of your right ankle. And that will expand and stretch even a little bit more. If that feels good to you, great. If it doesn't, just relax the leg down next to the other. And in yin yoga, we hold for a little bit. We hold a little bit longer than maybe we want to, because we really want to get deep into the fascia and not be so concerned about stretching the muscle. So it creates a memory for the fascia and the muscle so that it comes back to this position next time you do it. And each time you open up the fascia a little bit more. It may not noticeably be different, but you are doing it better and more each time. Now to come out of our banana pose, you're going to release the left wrist if you have it held on to by the right, and bring the arms down so that the elbows are back at your side. And you'll scoop your upper body over just like you did, so it's in the center of your mat. And then you'll walk both your legs over so that they are in the center of your mat. Bring the arms out to the sides, palms face up or down, whichever is most comfortable, and just lie for a moment in this stillness and notice the difference between your left and right side of your body. We'll move to the other side by walking the heels over just a couple of inches to the left corner of the mat and bringing the arms up above, giving yourself a nice stretch. Oh, I'm sorry, before you do that, use your elbows and scoot your upper body over so your torso is now moving in the same direction, but your hips are right where they started, and your arms will come up overhead, and you can hold on to your right wrist if you like. Settle into this posture first, and then if you want to pull further with the left arm pulling the right, you can feel that opening again into the shoulder of this side. Now, if you have a shoulder injury on one side and not the other, don't feel like you ever have to do the same thing each time or each side because you're different. Both sides are going to be different. Nice, you guys. So if you want to give it a little pull, great. Beautiful. Perfect. Stay here and just notice what's coming into your left and right side of your body. So left side contracting, right side extending. See what you can relax in this position. So maybe you're holding tension in your face or another part of your body that's not needed. And you can gently relax that and let that go. Nothing's blowing away, just around. And take another breath here. And then as you release with your exhale, let go of your grip on your wrist. Bring your arms down to your sides gently and slowly. Scoot your upper body over to the center of your mat. And then walk your heels back to the center of your mat. And hopefully you feel a little openness in your side bodies. You might feel anything, you might feel a number of other things. Remember, there's no right or wrong in yoga and what your body feels. If it feels helpful and good and you're breathing, then you're doing fine. When you stop breathing, you've usually gone a little bit too far. So we want to take, just keep note of that. We're going to do a shoulder stretch that I really like. They call it open wing in this particular book. And I've given Heidi the link to this article so that you can see all the poses for yourself. So you can do this practice again for yourself without having to memorize all this. Open wing is a shoulder relaxation. So I'm going to have everyone gently roll onto their left side. And I'm going to try to get in a position where you can see me. So maybe alter just a little bit so you can see me, because it's a little difficult for me to show this one. Okay, so you're on your left side, now I'm on my right side. Come on down to your, so you're down on your side. I'm coming down on my side, and I'm bending my leg into a nice comfortable like fetal position. Okay? Now I'm going to place my right hand down, and I'm going to move my left arm back behind me. And it doesn't have to be not straight out, but down a little bit towards my feet. So I'm leaning on my shoulder here. And then I'm going to relax my body down. And it puts a little on your feet on the back. Because it's so hard, it's just and reach my arms at the opposite ends of my body. Now, if you don't feel it, and then let that front arm relax. Now, if you don't feel anything in that shoulder yet, move your arm up towards your head. And as you move it up, you should feel a little bit more in that shoulder. And then when you're ready, roll yourself back towards that shoulder, and you should feel a nice opening in your body, in your shoulder. I can't explain that quite as well as you should. I'm just going to see if that made sense to anybody. Yeah, so Mary, if you don't feel that, scoot your bottom arm, your back arm up towards your shoulder. Yeah. And then you can push your, good, okay, you can bring your right arm right in front of you, in front of your chest. And you can push that a little bit and roll yourself back onto that leg. Bend yourself a little bit. Push with your hand. Yeah, there you go. You feel that in your shoulder? Okay, a good feel? No. Be honest. Yeah. Can you feel pushing that back? Okay. So it doesn't hurt, but it's, you know it's there, right? You know where it is. Okay. You guys have like you got it totally. So bring your attention into the area that you're stretching and just see if you can notice a little opening there going on. And you can always wiggle just a little bit in yin to sort of settle into the pose, to feel it a little bit more. And we'll take a few more breaths here. And I just remembered what would be nice. On the other side, I'm going to walk your head. Is that kind of lift it up a little bit? And then as you feel ready, you can come on up to a seat, or you can roll over to the other side, because we're going to do it on the other side. I'm going to bring a block around to your head, so that, or a blanket, because I forgot that you're a little lifted and more comfortable to let your head rest down. Taking any stretches that you any little stretches that you need in between, and then I think you'll be good. Just blow it around. And once you're on your other side, bring your right arm behind you. And start with it a little lower than straight out, because that'll help you, that'll help you begin in the right place, even though you're in the right spot. Nothing beautiful on your head? You good? Okay. And once you settle in and you feel comfortable, begin to push a little bit with that left hand and turn yourself, like peel yourself open a little bit. Yep, you got it, Mary. Imagine that strong strength of your breath is coming into that shoulder. And on the exhale, relax anything that feels tight in your body. Take one more breath. On your exhale, let that go. Roll yourself back. Bring that arm wherever it feels comfortable so you can roll yourself onto your back one more time. And one of my favorite poses in yin yoga is legs at the wall. But you don't need a wall necessarily. You can give yourself a stretch with your legs straight up towards the sky. Now they're not reaching for the heels like pushing like you would in an exercise class. You're softly bending at the knees, letting the arms come out wherever they feel comfortable, and finding that balance where it feels like you're kind of holding yourself up on your own. Again, you're not. You're still using your belly muscles and your leg muscles. This is an exercise you can do after you've been in a car for a long time on a trip or on an airplane. Because what happens is you might notice your ankles and legs swell a little bit when you're sitting for a long time. This helps to move that fluid back down the body, move the body, and out of the legs and feet. So it's a great way to just kind of restore the body to normal fluid distribution. It cools down. And then as we finish, we're going to bend the knees in. We'll give ourselves a hug with our hands on the outside of our shins. Just pull the knees all the way in, just like we did that stretch earlier for our digestive system. And we'll rock gently side to side. Let's roll the knees over to the right and lie for just a moment in your seed position. That's called bija, the seed pose. Like it's getting ready to kind of spring up and blossom into something new. And then use your hands, push yourself up comfortably and safely to a seated position once again on your mat. Heidi, can you watch the time for me? I can't see it on my phone. I didn't think about that. When it's in Zoom mode, it will show me the time. 10:15. Perfect. Okay, great. Excellent. Let's see. Let's leave a couple of minutes for questions, but let's do one more yin pose. So you'll notice in a yin class, they'll hold them even longer than we did today. There could be 5 poses in a whole hour of yin class, which is like for most of us, like, come on, get the next one. But it's good for you. Okay, these are called, I'm going to stick with the ones that I brought you because they're the most, then you'll be able to follow them at home. We'll do a Sphinx pose. Or first we'll do a butterfly pose. So butterfly is a one that you'll do in both yin and vinyasa class or any hatha yoga class. So soles of the feet come together. There are different ways to practice this. You see what works best for you. One of them is heels really close, and you can use your elbows to press down gently. Now remember, we're not warmed up. This is not a vinyasa class, so we're going to be very gentle, and we're looking at stretching fascia rather than into the muscle. It's hard to tell the difference when you're doing this, but just think about a little more gentle and a longer hold. And then the second way to do it would be to bring your legs forward into more of a diamond shape. And that just affects you a little bit differently, just a tiny bit differently than the other ones. Very subtle difference. And in yin, we might take this into a forward fold. So gather up a couple of blocks for yourself. And we might come to a halfway point with the soles of our feet. So not too close, not too far. And then see what happens if you have your blanket or whatever. Well, here's the point that I'm going to try to make where you want to go, where you sort of want to go. And we're going to bring our forehead down, and we're going to just see how far it comes naturally to rest. The reason we use the block is because we don't want to use our body to pull ourselves down. We want to let our head literally rest heavy on these blocks. So now blocks might be the right thing, and they might not be. You might need a blanket instead. You might need to build a little fort, but whatever you need to do is fine. Perfect. And Catherine, as you go, you will see you probably want to lower your back. There you go. And here I'm going to say, let your back really slouch. The difference I saw when I said that with your shoulders and your back was awesome. And you're allowed to do that sometimes in the posture. Now, as you stay, you may, depending on where you started out, you may or may not feel like you want to go further. Don't do it as a challenge because you want to see if you can do it. Do it because your body really says, "Oh, I'm too propped up. I need to release a little bit more." And that's fine. You may want to turn your block a different way or use a blanket or whatever instead. Yeah, there you go, Mary. Is that too much or is that good? Okay. Sometimes you think it's there, it's not quite there. You need a block like a half that size, right? So let yourself be heavy and forward folding here. And maybe breathe into the back here. Imagine that the back is expanding and contracting, which it actually is with your lungs, especially as you're folded over. So you're contracting in the front of your body, and the back of your body is opening and closing, expanding and contracting. When you feel ready, if you really love it, you can stay here a little bit longer. If you feel ready, you can just gently start to push down on the blocks with your hands. It's safe, and very gently roll yourself up and let the body really roll one vertebra at a time until it comes up to a stacked position. And use your arms to close your legs because they will just really force open for a little bit. So be okay with it being a little bit stiff and use your other parts of your body to help you. We're going to end the way we began, which is in Shavasana, and we'll do a little different variety, which is called pentacle pose, which we use in yin. Just a little different name, little different posture. And yeah, perfect. Okay. And pentacle pose is like a star. So bring our legs out wide and our arms out wide. And it's a lying down position where you just completely relax. Now, if this piece doesn't feel good to you and you need a prop underneath, go ahead and take that. We're just going to have like a 5-minute Shavasana meditation time. And if at any time, whatever pose we're in doesn't feel right to you, and you're thinking about, oh, this hurts, or I'm not comfortable, then I want you to move out of it. In my class, we don't make you sit through the uncomfortable, because it turns out that that's really all you focus on. When you get uncomfortable, it's like all you can think about. And the other place we're going today. Let me see. I have one in here that we can practice again. Okay, next week if we're outside, I want to do walking meditation. But for this one, I'm just going to do a little guided meditation. And this is called, we were talking about gratitude earlier. And this is a gratitude, body scan, whatever you might want to call it. We're going to focus on our feet first. Just let them be soft and loose. You can wiggle them a little bit to recognize that they're there, whatever feels good to you. And then breathing in, I'm aware of my feet. And breathing out, I find gratitude for my feet. That may sound silly, but think about the places that you've been, places that you've walked or hiked or skied or anything with your feet, skated, whatever it was that you did, or ran if you were a runner. And beautiful places that your feet have been able to take you. And then some joy that your feet have brought to you. For example, after a long walk when your feet are really hot and you put them in a cool pond of water. Or if you're thinking about being at the beach and they're in soft sand, and then some water comes up. Think about the joy that that brings you. Breathing in, I'm aware of my legs. Breathing out, I am grateful for my legs. And again, think about something that you have left to do, whether it's maybe dancing or doing yoga or climbing or walking with your babies or whatever it might be. And then realize how grateful you really are for all the places that your legs have taken you, all the actions that you've been able to take. So breathing in, I'm aware of my feet and legs, and breathing out, I am grateful. And this is for our function, not necessarily our form, and not necessarily the outward look, but the inward function of these body parts. We're not looking at them saying, oh, it's a little this or a little that. We're saying it's perfect, exactly the way it is. And all the joy that it's brought me, my amazing body. Now think about your spine, bringing in your breath. Breathing in, I'm aware of my spine. And breathing out, I'm grateful for my spine. Think about the ways that your spine has moved for you already today. And then through things that you love to do. And dancing comes to mind because it's a joyful thing. But it might also be just twisting to get out of your bed in the morning. It may be bending over to tie your shoes. All those things involve your spine. Breathing in, I'm aware of my spine, and breathing out, I am grateful. Bring your awareness to your shoulders and your arms, all the way down into your forearms, your wrists, your hands, and your fingers. Breathing in, I'm aware of my arms and hands, and breathing out, I am grateful for all that they've done for me. Think about someone that you've hugged that you love so much, and the joy that that hug has brought you. Think about something you might have created with your hands. Maybe through sculpture or painting or drawing, maybe pottery, maybe knitting or a craft, maybe writing, maybe playing a musical instrument. Maybe just holding something you love in your hands, or feeling the texture of sand on the beach. Breathing in, I'm aware of my arms and hands, and breathing out, I am filled with gratitude. And finally, coming into our senses. Breathing in, I'm aware of my sense of smell. Breathing out, I'm grateful. Think about something that you love to smell, baking bread or your grandmother's cookies or something from your past. Breathing in, I'm aware of my sense of hearing, and breathing out, I'm grateful. Whether it's sounds of nature or beautiful music or children laughing or silence, or just the current sounds we hear right now. Breathing in, aware of my sense of taste, and breathing out with gratitude for the delicious taste I have experienced and will continue to experience. Finally, breathing in, I'm aware of my eyes. Breathing out, I'm grateful for my sight and all the beautiful things I've been able to see and continue to see in my life. Now, with your entire body, I'm breathing in, aware of my entire body, from my toes to the top of my head, from my fingertips to my fingertips. Breathing out, I'm filled with gratitude for my perfect body. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Possibly roll your head side to side if that feels good. Just giving you an option of other movements you can make. But your body will know if you just open it up for any kind of movement that it wants to make. You come on out of your position wherever you are. Bring your soles of your feet onto the floor. Bring the knees up to the sky. Maybe reach the arms up to the sky as well. Maybe clasp the hands overhead. Opening up your shoulders. Just bringing awareness and connection from the bottom of your body to the top, from the side to the side. When you're ready, again, drop the knees over to one side. Use your bottom arm as a pillow. Measure the warmth. You see, take your time, go slowly as you can, as slowly as you want to. Come back and give yourself just a little rotation of shoulders, neck, whatever feels good to you right now. Get a little assessment of how you feel. Maybe whatever it is, whatever you feel is perfect, just the way it's supposed to be. Bring your hands into heart center and tap gently on the sternum. I forgot this. So this is an immune system point, and when we tap on the sternum, we're hopefully kind of activating that and keeping us healthy, strong. Can't hurt, is what I figured. And then bring the hands to stillness right into the heart. So you feel that beautiful warmth that lies behind your heart. That is your true self, your beautiful self, your perfect self. Find the beautiful light that lives in you. And make it a goal to see that beautiful light in everyone that you come in contact with today. The light that lives in me sees and honors, bows to, and celebrates the amazing light in each one of you. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you very much. Thanks. It was great to meet you. Thanks for coming. I'm glad. Thank you. I'm glad. Everybody feel okay? Are you glad you didn't give up? I am too. I'm really glad you didn't give up because I know how that feels. Like, oh, get so frustrated and everything. So, Mary, in your book, I have a replacement for 2 of the pages. I'm gonna give you that. And then, you know, what, I mean, I don't think it's homework. There's no homework. Except you have.
And we have a third.
We have a
course that
third
we
one.
haven't had yet, and Saturdays is an option, or an option. If Saturday mornings work for you, I can put that out to the other rest of the group too. In case this is a good day for you, or maybe it happened to be a good day for you today. But we'll search for that next day. Are Saturdays good typically?
Okay. Well, let's go with the consensus of the people who are here.
Okay.
Right? Because we count.
Okay.
The only thing I can't do is this coming Saturday.
Okay, so maybe the one after that.
Yep, that would be great.
28th, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 28th is a Wednesday, 'cause I come home, so whatever that is, 9, 29, 30, 31? 30 days. It's either 31 or the first, I can't remember what month it is even anymore. 30 days.
To be due.
Right? Oh, yeah, you can't go by the weather, that's for sure, right?
Yeah, it is the first.
Okay.
Now, I won't be able to be here, but that's the last class in the series. And then we can talk with Lenora if people are really engaged.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, you never know, but you thought maybe we could a large group and make this a school culture. And it hasn't been quite yet, but maybe just a little more information, or maybe you think it's smaller, step it back and say we offer yoga and mindfulness every other week, or, say a program, maybe that was serious.
Well,
It's good for me. I needed this.
I'm so glad. Usually that happens when we put in effort. We usually get what we need.
and who knows that just a few of us and a few of us last week can start to pervade the culture a little bit. Bring mindfulness. Let's bring it. We're bringing it.
Yeah, we're bringing it no matter what, right?